Good afternoon, everyone. This is T3 Live Editor-in-Chief John Darsie here to bring you the daily recap. As far as the market goes, another choppy day. We had a late day push in the indices to take us into positive territory, but overall just sort of 3 days of rest, consolidation, some slight pullback type action in the market, which is healthy. You know, we had this big run after the Fed announced they were not going to taper, and then once we got the debt ceiling issue out of the way, the rally accelerated, and there's really not a lot in the way of this market until the end of the year. So a lot of people are struggling to figure out how they're going to get in, how they're going to be able to participate in this rally. And although it's been a shallow correction over the past few days, this at least helps us work off some of the overbought condition and perhaps give us a more compelling area to enter stocks besides just chasing new highs. But take a look at the chart of the spiders. You can get a visual of it. As you can see, the SPYs today, a little bit of a doji candlestick, but a late day rally helped us finish in positive territory, finish back above the 8-day. You can take a look at the Qs. The Qs have obviously been stronger, and you could say the Qs are just forming sort of an upper level flag here. Tech stocks have been very strong this earnings season, and like the spiders, the Qs are still above the 8-day, so very constructive action there. From a stock specific perspective, I'm just going to follow up on a few things I talked about in the morning call this morning and also stuff that's been in our Off the Charts newsletter. The 3D printing stocks have continued to be extremely strong. You know, while you've had some other leaders sort of falling by the wayside a little bit or weakening slightly in certain pockets of the market, you've seen the 3D printers continue to perform really well. We had triple D on Off the Charts a few weeks ago, a pattern we highlighted there. It actually hit our targets for that pattern, so that one exited the watch list on Off the Charts, but we saw SSYS. We can go to the chart of that. SSYS is one we listed this week on Off the Charts as one that could potentially play some catch-up to the other, to Triple D, which has been leading the 3D printing group. And SSYS, you can see, has had really impressive price action in the last 4 days to break out and trigger that entry price that we talked about on Off the Charts. So this is one that closed on its highs today. That's exactly what you'd like to see on a breakout. So this is one with really constructive action that we think can continue higher, one to keep an eye on. Walter Energy, a little different kind of play. And something I talked about this morning in the morning call is that we're seeing some basic material stocks, some energy stocks that have a high short interest. We're seeing groups like that perk up and act a little bit better. And Walter Energy is one that we highlighted on Off the Charts. I can zoom out a little bit to show you that lower level base that we highlighted on our newsletter. Draw the line here. You can see just a clear lower level pattern. Like I said, heavy short interest of more than 30%. So this is one that once it breaks above key levels and has short interest like that, can really squeeze and give you a lot more upside. And today, I tweeted about it as it was breaking above the range, but it's also been listed on Off the Charts if you've been following that. Like I said, we got some really nice momentum, a nice percentage move there in WLT. One of the reasons that I thought WLT might go today is, it's a different sector. It's a basic materials group. CLF is a iron ore company. This is a position that I've been stalking and trading for a while. Finally got that big eruption above this pivot support today. Finished up more than 6% despite closing off its highs, but a really nice percentage move from CLF, which also has a short float. More than 30% of its float is short. So that provides fuel for a short squeeze, and that's what we got today. A really impressive move that could lead to a bigger move for CLF. You can talk about X, US Steel, another one, the basic materials group, that after a few days of digestive action, 2 days of digestive action after this igniting bar, looks like it could get more upside. So a couple things there. In the virtual trading floor, one position you've seen on Scott's VTF is JCPenney, and this is one that has had its well-publicized struggles and sort of in the doldrums. They priced that secondary offering that led to even more downside for JCPenney, but it's sort of a contrarian type situation. When you get opinion that reaches such a consensus in one direction, you can often get a contrarian move in the other direction. And when JCPenney was trading down in the low 6s, everybody was writing it off as dead, as headed for bankruptcy, but you can get huge percentage moves in stocks that have been beaten down like this, and that's what you've seen in JCPenney. Scott, what he does is he waits for sort of confirmation of some upside in a stock like this before getting involved in order to manage his risk and not catch a falling knife. So, he's looking at this lower level pattern, and then after it got a little bit more commitment to the upside back above the 8-day moving average down here, that's when he got involved, and today it had a nice extension back above the $8 area. So you're seeing a little bit more focus in the VTF from traders in general on these stocks that are more laggard type stocks that when a rally gets a little bit long in the tooth, sometimes people start rotating into small cap stocks to stocks that have high short interest that are laggard stocks, like I said. And we're seeing a little bit of that in the market right now. So I wouldn't go as far to say it's a red flag, but it's just something to take note of, and something to note when you're coming up with your game plans each week, that maybe we focus for the short term a little bit on some of these laggard type plays that look like they're perking up a little bit. But now I want to transition to talk about a little bit about something we're doing next week. As most of you know, Twitter is set to IPO next week. Today they confirmed that it's going to be on November 7th, which is next Thursday. And what we wanted to do is offer everyone a chance to get an access to the T3 Live virtual trading floor during the Twitter IPO, because Mark Sperling, Scott Reller, the other contributors to T3 Live, very experienced traders who cut their teeth during the tech boom in a time there was tons of IPOs, and it's sort of going back to the old days of trading, of analyzing order flow and analyzing supply and demand, and that's what you're going to get during the Twitter IPO. So next week we're offering a 7-day free trial into the virtual trading floor so that you can get that analysis as Twitter IPOs, to hear whether you should be involved, how you should be involved, to learn the art of trading an IPO on day one, which you might have seen on our site several times, explaining strategies for low-risk entries into IPOs so you don't take blind risk like some people did with Facebook. On one hand, people are excited about the Twitter IPO because they're saying it's modestly priced. There could be some meat on the bone for the retail investor, but people also have Facebook fresh in their minds and in the back of their minds as a caution sign for blindly chasing IPOs. So it should be a very interesting IPO that, by all accounts, like I said, should be some meat left on the bone, as they're pricing it lower in the bottom end of the range that a lot of analysts expected it to. You've had a lot of wirehouses come out in the last few days saying that the valuation is in excess of what they're pricing it at. So hopefully they don't run it up too high into the IPO. And just another note regarding that, we're offering that free trial into the VTF. So on Thursday and Friday, when Twitter IPOs, the first 2 days of that IPO, Scott, as you often see him on Twitter, is very active providing, he does a great job providing people information and analysis on Twitter for free. But on Thursday and Friday, he's not going to be tweeting at all on his Twitter account. So if you want his analysis of the Twitter IPO, you're going to have to tune into the virtual trading floor. Like I said, it's a free trial. You have no obligation after the 7 days to continue. We just wanted to give everyone a little bit of a glimpse into what the VTF is, not only so they can follow along with the Twitter IPO, but so they can get a feel for the community and see the type of value that you get in the VTF. And the VTF, not only the contributors to the VTF on the T3 Live side, but also the subscribers, the community have been outstanding recently, coming up with ideas, helping each other. And it's really a tremendous value add for any trader, in my opinion, and something that can definitely add value to what you do in the market. So look on our homepage. You can sign up for that 7-day free trial to the VTF. And we look forward to seeing some new faces, hopefully, in the VTF at the end of next week, or all of next week. This has been John Darsie here for your daily recap. We'll see you back here on Monday for the morning call.
I'm sure you've heard probably once or twice that Twitter is hitting the initial public offering market. My name is Scott Redler. Some know me as Red Dog. If you follow me on Twitter, @RedDogT3Live. With Twitter coming public, it could be one of the most exciting trading days of the year. You've heard everything about Facebook and how it came out the first day and it was a disaster. You've heard that LinkedIn was a success. You have to have a plan to know what to look for. Here at T3, we talk about the art of the first day of an initial public offering. We measure the supply and demand of that new issue when it hits the tape. Whether or not you should be involved in the first 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hour, or whether you have to wait. Let us help you sift through the noise here on our trading floor, within our virtual trading floor. Because you're not going to find me on Twitter on Thursday and Friday. You're going to have to follow me here on the virtual trading floor, because I'm not going to be on Twitter. Go to t3live.com, sign up for a 7-day free trial. Tune in on IPO day. Witness what those in our community see every single day. When Twitter comes public, I'd love to see you trading right next to me. Hope to see you there.